we have to trust what you're saying is correct. But Chris, we're experts on television. Trust us to do the right thing. See how that worked? And if I was a kid, I'd say, okay, you're right. But I'm not a kid. I'm not 19 years old, and I'm looking for fame and fortune. I have a nice career, a family. I'm older now. I don't need the TV show, you know. And
Right.
so after a couple hours of stalling, I said to them, pick one thing. You can pick one of these 13 things. I'll say one, and we'll go on. They scrambled, scrambled, scrambled. So the one thing in the show that remained that wasn't true was where I looked at the camera and I said, I had two choices: to kill myself or call my father. And why they want that? His dad has to be there. He has to be there, or else here comes dad. Mercedes-Benz is happy. Dad's in there. Boom, and roll camera. I would never kill myself. What's the point? I thought the thing that killed itself in my room already. Why spend the eternity with that thing? So
Right.
that's the one thing.
That would
But
not be my goal.
the other 12 things you remove. So except for that one thing, it was a cool experience. But then again, you don't know in the editing process if they make you into a fool or what. And so I had no idea what to expect until the show first aired. And that was, I think, June 27th of 2012. And I went, had a big little party. It's good English, Chris. A party at a little place with all my friends and family, a little pizza place. It was nice. And we watched the TV show for the first time. And they did an amazing job. And so instead of being a joke, I became a phenomenon where all of a sudden I had an agent 2 days later and people asked for my autograph and I'm booked for shows over the country. It was insane. And there's the fear. I had lost control temporarily during the haunting, and here we go again. And I had to
Oh,
find my
wow.
way through controlling my time, my energy, my interviews, and things like that. I eventually dropped all my agents. I dropped all those things. I began making my own choices, back again with my friends. And then when Police Talking They came out, it was a beautiful experience. I made more friends that way. Jeff and I connected after 30 years and like brothers again. So it's been an incredible experience. I got to go on Coast to Coast AIM with George Norrie, and he liked the book cover a lot, so that was cool. But since it's been good since then. But again, every time you expose yourself in a major forum, mass media, television, marketing, the positive is you're known. There's a brand recognition. There's opportunity to make profit or go places. The negative is being defined by somebody else all over again, and that's my big fear. So luckily, I think over time, making smart choices, and again, focus on people who are my friends first, and other people second, people who want to make money. I think I got to a place now where I'm in a good spot where I can spread a message positively and not hurt my credibility.
Well, I'm really impressed that you took the reins on that. Knowing you, I'm not surprised, but I am impressed because so many people, um, when they have an opportunity to appear on television, no matter the format, but particularly in shows relevant to anomalous topics and experiences, because,
Right.
in all honesty, there's not going to be a lot of documentation. Yours is one of the most well documented hauntings I've ever heard of because of Jeff Unger's,
That's right.
you know, notes. His note taking process was astounding.
Yes, and then you had Father Charlie, who's still alive, who tested to doing the
Yes.
blessing. You had my father who went there. So there are so many witnesses to it, adult
Yes.
witnesses, not two kids in a basement or kids that would smoking pot and things like that. It was actually adults who were thriving, responsible, who even years later said that's pretty cool. So I guess that was a deciding thing in people's minds to say this seems like it might be legit. And then there's also, when you share, if someone is sharing a concept, it's interesting. When someone shares their soul, when they share their pain and their experience, it can be moving. And I think the fact that, Jeff and I and Beth and my dad were brave enough to honestly share, people respect that, I think. And they see the pain they in our faces. They hear the pain in our voices. And they say, something happened. It's real. And that's a
Yes.
good thing. It's a good thing to have. And again, um, after everything had happened and the movie was filmed, the sci-fi show was done, Mara said to me, "Well, how do you feel?" And I thought about it, and I said, "Relieved." I
She
felt,
would ask that. She's brilliant.
yes, but that's the thing. So I mean, if most would say I'm satisfied, I'm excited. I like I was just so relieved it worked out, so no one was hurt, and I'm very thankful for that.
Well, absolutely. And you know what? We're up against a break. This is 3 minutes, and we will be back. Y'all don't leave. We have a lot more coming up.
You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
Welcome back to Fate Radio. I'm Kat Hobson, your host, with my guest, Chris DiCesare. And I do hope, Chris, that you notice just how smoothly that comes out. Just rolls off the tongue. So, we have a history, people, that was not always the case. I have always been able to enunciate his name beautifully. However, not when I was on the air with him. No matter how many times we practiced it before we went on the air, it was really getting to be an embarrassment, but that is kind of a... It was a riot. I mean, my husband harasses me about my enunciation. and I couldn't do that. So, but we are back. We are about to have just more conversation, and I just realized that I think I was the only person hearing you right now. I hate when we talk about ghosts and spirits because sometimes that goes a little haywire with things. When I have a host of our Friday night show who does her show live from a haunted jail, the old Paulding jail, and sometimes when she is on, things just go or don't go bump in the night. So, but we are all here and we are all communicating, so that's a good thing. But, you know, I have had the best time talking with you, but I had really never asked how you got connected with Maura, which worked out great for Jeff Hunger. So,
yes,
you know, and they are definitely kindred souls.
Yeah, way back in the day, I think we had water back then. Um, Jeff, when he was living in the same dorm as me, was probably the most intelligent person I'd ever met, save my dad, who had more time to hone his craft, but possibly the most shy person I ever met. And, he would view people from afar. He would look at this girl in his class or this woman on the street and just draw pictures of them, write poetry to them, but he had no ability to actually speak to them. And so I always wondered if he'd ever find love because he was so quiet about that. He never understood how cool he was or what a quote unquote good catch he was. And when he came out to New York from Pennsylvania for the filming of Please Talk With Me, that's when he met Mara. And there was a chemistry, a professional positivity right away. And I remember thinking in my head, oh, it's nice because you want people to be happy,
yes,
but you don't want to force things. And over time, the professional respect that they had and the courtesy and the considerations over time developed into something more, but never on the set, never during the projects. They're constant professionals. And after things had died down, they had a conversation and said, maybe we make this work. And I was happy for them. They're both good people, and that happens, it's wonderful to see. It was an unexpected, wonderful bonus to having these projects created. And I actually met Mara. We had worked on a project. It was a mod, an add-on mod to a video game for Xbox and PS3, I believe, called Oblivion: Elder Scrolls. And we and some other people worked on this mod where we had this whole quest about the god of life and death in that game dying and the priest trying to deal with that death. And it did very well. It won some awards. It's translated into German, into Russian, and things like that. So I knew her to be a creative genius, And in terms of Bill Edwards, he has been a friend for many years. He had heard about The Haunting a while back. He'd seen the picture, found the notes and things, and he's actively involved in the Masons. He opened his own new lodge. He's in charge of educational programs, published some books. So between the two of those people, between Bill and Mara, I could not, quote unquote, fail in anything we did because they were so talented and gifted, and they somehow chose to share my experience, and that's what they chose to do, and it's changed everything for everybody. And so, and I, it sounds like I'm a broken record, but again, everything people talk about the Ghost Boy talks here, the Ghost Boy does this, the Ghost Boy, there is no Ghost Boy. But the people in my life, that includes my kids who let me go on the trips all the time, my wife who lets me go out and talk, my parents who kept me safe. I mean, all the people around me are what allows me to be who I am today. So as much as I enjoy the thanks, I really do. I appreciate everything I have, but it's more them than me, and that's the way it usually is in life. That's that absolute truth.
Well, I had tagged the Chris DiCesare, the Ghost Boy of Geneseo, and you laughed about that and commented in there. That, people, you were an urban legend.
Isn't that weird?
You were truly an urban legend. Your whole experience was an urban legend. And would you have ever come forward had this guy not gone out hunting the Ghost Boy?
It's such a strange thing. Again, I think that there's more I don't know that I do know. I did my very best, whether wrong or right, to put it into a box. I got married, had a family. I talk with friends a little bit on the side, but I played ball on the weekends. I got a job. I didn't actually, be the Ghost Boy. And it wasn't until years later I found out that people were looking for me, that there was a story of this boy who talks to ghosts in the college, and it became this urban legend in Western New York. I had no clue until years later when we were coming to speak for the very first time about the film at the college itself. And the place was packed. It's the Ghost Boy, the Ghost Boy. What? And when I found out people had known about me, I got cold feet. Can the real Chris meet the expectations of this mythical Ghost Boy? Can the real me match up to whatever they think I'm supposed to be? And remember, going to flip a coin if I spoke or not. That's how nervous I was heading for the doors,
That is too funny.
I remember I was walking through a mall in Pennsylvania a couple of years ago. I was going by the stores, and this